Hello again, YouTubers. I'm SpongeBob 101 back here again on the SpongeBob channel. Today is February 24th, 2021, and it is time to check out a all-new trailer for Kamp Koral, SpongeBob's Underyears. So this show, of course, premieres on March 4th, which is just about a week's time away. So pretty excited for that. Now, before I begin, I do want to say I've already addressed the controversies around the show more than enough, so from this video on and all videos related to Kamp Koral, we won't be discussing that. We'll be talking about, the story, the design, quality, etc., pros and cons, etc. Okay, so yeah, now that that's out of the way, let's get into the article. So here we are on denofgeek.com. They claim that they are unveiling a new trailer. It's an exclusive. It is not. It may have been, but Nickelodeon just put it out on their social media anyway, and that's how I actually found it. So yeah, it's not really exclusive anymore. So this is the trailer. We'll be taking a look at screenshots from it and discussing it a little bit more in detail in a few moments. But anyways, he says, the narration in this trailer just reminds us of how many iconic locations and characters SpongeBob SquarePants has thrust into the cultural lexicon during its more than 20 years on the air. But before the pineapple and before the Krusty Krab, there was simply Kamp Koral. Now, right off the gate here, I have a problem with it because, I was just thinking about it. I was watching the trailer, and now he says there was simply Kamp Koral. Feels like Bikini Bottom as a town was literally born out of Kamp Koral, which is kind of weird, don't you think? So yeah, it's just a weird thing. As promised by previous marketing material, the whole gang is really here. So we have Sandy, of course, Patrick, Mr. Krabs is a counselor, as does Larry the Lobster, Squidward is here too, and Plankton is a cafeteria cook. So, and he does recognize this. While this may have some strange effects on the SpongeBob continuity, it is nice to see Plankton fulfilling the whatever, I really don't care. I have no idea what they're actually even saying. So, if you guys have actually watched this show, I mean, that's great, but I haven't. So, okay, so blah blah blah, same summary there. And then finally, the first 6 episodes of Kamp Koral Season 1 will be available to stream on March 4th. The remaining 7 episodes will premiere at a later date. So, I think the only new thing here is Season 1. I mean, it doesn't really suggest that there may be more than one season, but, considering it's SpongeBob, right, I wouldn't be surprised if they have more than one season. We'll just see how things go in the future. Alright, so now that we've taken a look at this article, let's go over to the YouTube page here. This is the unlisted video, so I guess that's why they call it exclusive, but, since Nickelodeon put it up on their social media, it's not so exclusive. So without further ado, let's take a look at the screenshots. Alright, so the trailer starts out showing Sandy, Patrick, and SpongeBob there, and then we have go over to a scene where we see the entrance to Kamp Koral with a cool lamp building in the back there, the lake, and then of course some characters including a younger Bubble Bass as well as Larry the Lobster. It's pretty nice. Of course, Patrick is just pointing at something, and then SpongeBob just freaking out and being happy. We also see some of the activities happening like this, where you zip line and you hold that little thing, and then you're supposed to whack the other guy, I assume who's coming from the other side. And then we have this very random situation where SpongeBob is just running towards the camera and being super happy. It even makes me happy just seeing this, so that's nice. Then we have a scene at the cafeteria, I assume, with Plankton in the middle there, and then of course all the kids are just throwing their plates into the air for some reason. We have Patrick, SpongeBob, and Sandy just laughing, and then we have this really nice scene. I really like this one with the in nighttime, and then jellyfish are just floating around, and SpongeBob looking pretty epic. We also have this part where SpongeBob and Patrick are in this wheelbarrow of some sort, and Mr. Krabs is reluctantly pushing them down the slope. We also have a exercise session by Larry the Lobster. Again, Larry is not as bulky as he is in the main show, but of course that's probably just because he's younger. We have this shower moment with Bubble Bass being the operator. I think it's kind of gross. Firstly, they're not really showering. They're just getting some water dumped on them. So hygiene standards 0. out of 10. Yeah, it just feels really weird. Like, personally, I've never liked camps in real life because it's just, it doesn't really feel clean to me. So I'm just very particular about that. Then we have this part where SpongeBob and Patrick are the ones ziplining, so that's pretty epic. We have Sandy and Plankton here. This is a very clear shot of Plankton, and Plankton serves up some like gunk, and Sandy asks, "What is this even called?" And then Plankton's like, "I'm not gonna tell you. It's not meant for children, or at least the term is not meant to be used for children, right?" So we also have SpongeBob, Patrick, and Sandy walking in the forest, and then this flashes to SpongeBob and Patrick, I assume in the first episode or some jellyfishing related episode, looking at Squidward, who seems to be stuck in a fishbowl of some sorts and completely stung. Either that or poisoned or something. Well, Squidward is purple, so that's kind of weird. And of course, Patrick is going to poke him. Then we also have this part where SpongeBob presumably tried to capture something, but turns out to be the hair of this monster. It reminds you of the first SpongeBob movie, the frogfish? Yeah, so a little bit of that kind of vibes here. We also move on to just some random antics with SpongeBob holding a shovel for some reason and Patrick wearing his underpants on his face, and then he eventually runs around and smacks himself into a tree. We also have this random part where Sandy's using a towel to wax Patrick's butt. For some reason, I'm not sure, but it's pretty funny. And then we also have SpongeBob and Patrick holding this like pointy thing. I'm not sure if that's like a needle. It seems too long to be a needle. We then come to this part where the narrator is talking about nonsense, and Patrick's talking about something nonsensical as well. And he's wearing a like clown wig and that weird eyeglasses as well. We also have this moment where SpongeBob and Patrick are practicing archery or some sort. We also have SpongeBob and Patrick being super stoked about something. And then even Plankton has his own arrows. This jetpack reminds me of the one from the first SpongeBob movie, the one that he used to transport himself to Neptune's castle and back with the crown. We also see Mr. Krabs with his money eyes. He seems to be the proprietor of the camp shop. Then SpongeBob and Patrick are shown in front of the counselor's quarters, just munching on candy. And then finally we do have this awesome short shot. I think it's very close to the one that we see in the first part of the trailer, where you zoom out on Kamp Koral. So yeah, this is probably the same scenario. And they are throwing something in the air. I think it seems like spoons, actually. So I'm not sure what that is about. Finally, or almost finally, we have SpongeBob being super happy again. And then lastly, we end off with a scene that we've seen in the Kamp Koral sneak peek back in January, which is, the part where SpongeBob is super excited to jellyfish for the first time. So overall, I think this new trailer, it is short, it's just about 1.5 minutes, but it's good enough. I'm excited to see what the show is all about on March 4th, and I hope you guys are as well. What do you think about all the new scenes or things we saw in this trailer? Comment in the box below. Of course, again, this will be available on Paramount Plus on March 4th, so kind of excited for that. Thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure to subscribe, like, favorite, comments, etc. Keep it right here on Ultimate SpongeBob 101, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye!